Plagued by mom guilt? Watch this video about how to experience more freedom and more of God every day. Hey soul sister, if you desire to experience the divine all the time, subscribe to this channel, ring the church bell, and you'll be notified when I post a new video every Sunday. If you collapse into bed every night, flooded with racing thoughts about how you could have done things differently, stick around. I'm about to share with you a way of praying that's blessing me and releasing me from these negative thoughts. So what are we talking about here? In the 16th century, there was a man named St. Ignatius Loyola, and he came up with something called the daily examen. It's not spelled examen, it's actually E-X-A-M-E-N. And it is just a quick prayer, maybe about 15 minutes, where you are reflecting over your day with God. Another way of saying it is you're rummaging throughout your day for where God may have been active. So why might you, as a mom, want to learn the daily examen and implement it into your life? So this is kind of, I guess, a self-diagnosis, but I think I have postpartum OCD, and I think I've had it with after every one of my kids. But basically, it's where I get these just like really intrusive thoughts of something horrific happening to my kids that like stops me in my track, and I literally have to stop what I'm doing at random periods of the day and like catch my breath and pray and focus on what's real. Otherwise I just start to panic because I just have this random thought that something horrible is happening or going to happen or just could happen to one of the kids. And the prayer of examen, which I'm also kind of refer to as mindfulness prayer, because it's really what it is. It's being mindful of God's presence in your day, in your life. Doing that helps to calm me down and helps me to remember that everything is in God's hands. And this is something you do at the end of the day. So also, I go to bed with a lot of mom guilt, which is like my norm is mom guilt. It reminds me that God didn't give me 24 hours in a day to accomplish 36 hours worth of stuff. So maybe there's something that I didn't get done. Maybe I need to just let that go and realize that I was biting off more than I could chew. Or maybe I can reflect and think about how I could have stewarded my time better. But talking more about mom guilt, I'm forever feeling like I could have done something better. I could have done something more. I could have done something. I just didn't do something well enough. If I got the laundry done, I didn't spend time with the kids. If I spent time with the kids, I didn't spend enough time with God. It's always like this juggling act of trying to find balance, and rarely do I go to sleep feeling just like a sense of accomplishment and proud of myself. And when I don't practice the daily examen, maybe there were some things that I could have done better, but maybe there's some wins that I'm ignoring and letting get overshadowed by the stuff like the room for growth that I have in the day. Another reason that I like to practice the daily examen is because it makes Jesus more like my friend. I'm experiencing more of the Spirit being my counselor and his comforting me and his empowering me for the next day. This builds my reliance on him and my desire to spend time with him. Lastly, another reason that I enjoy practicing the daily examen is because it helps to tear down the dividing wall between sacred and secular. I can see Jesus in my child's face. I can see Jesus in a situation or in nature. I can see Jesus in a song or in a struggle that I had throughout the day. And this isn't pantheism. This isn't Jesus is everything and everything is Jesus. This is finding him, being mindful of how he may want to speak to me through something in my day and how he can speak to me through everything. This is being mindful of his grace and his love and his presence all throughout the day. And oftentimes we can go throughout our entire day without being aware of his presence or how he might be speaking to us. But this is at the end of the day, reflecting back and seeing, okay, God, you were speaking to me there, or thank you for the opportunity to grow or to exercise my gifting or whatever it may be. So how do you practice the daily examen, especially as a mother? All right, let's get into it. Step 1, presence. Become aware of God's presence. What does that look like? Okay, so this is kind of like an exercise that you can do that helps you become more aware of God's presence throughout your day. When you're reflecting on your day, kind of pull back and be sort of an objective observer in your day. Okay, so almost watch your day over again in your mind like a movie. Just play it all out in front of you and see, kind of as the narrator, where would the narrator of your story of that day say that God was working in you or through you or around you? If I'm losing you here, think about the book of Esther. So in the book of Esther, many of you may already know that God isn't actually mentioned by name in that book at all. But when we're reading it, especially from our perspective today, when we're reading the book of Esther, we can clearly see God's hand and him working and him orchestrating things in the story. So in the same way, tell yourself the story of your day in light of God's providence. Him working in and through different people, places, or things in your day. Step 2, gratitude. Thank God for what you were privileged to do today, the good, the bad, and everything in between. All things work together for the good of those who love God. So we can be thankful because we know that even trials lead to our maturity, us becoming complete and not lacking anything. Thank him for everything, for even the little things, for the curly hair you got to detangle, for the smelly diaper you got to change, for the dirty dishes you got to load into a dishwasher. Thank him for the strong cry of your baby and the strong will of your toddler. So share with me, what is one gift God gave you to savor today to remind you of his goodness? Step 3, emotions. Listen to your emotions for indicators as to what really happened today. Are you feeling guilty, jealous, unappreciated, bitter, lonely, hungry, tense? I'll tell you what, you can ask my husband. There is not a lot that food and a back rub can't solve for me. Sometimes my blood sugar low and I need to eat. There are several instances in the Bible where the Lord provided food and rest for people. I'm thinking about Elijah. I'm thinking about Jesus. Okay, very well, just good people, right? But seriously, sometimes we just need to eat to replenish ourselves. I'm rambling now, so I don't need to. I can cut that out, Crystal. God only exists in reality, and he can only transform what you honestly and humbly lay at his feet. So if you are being holier than thou, okay, if you are, masking your true emotions to be more, Christian, you think it's okay. I'm gonna overlook that offense, because I'm holy, But really, you're harboring resentment in your heart. Okay, that's not what Christ has for us. Jesus experienced the full range of human emotion, right? We especially see that in the garden. So we need to take the time. This is the time that's during the daily examen before the Lord to just evaluate what is going on inside of us. Slow down. Don't cover it up with busyness. Take the time to be real with yourself and real with God and lay it all out in front of him. And just tune in to yourself and what you are actually feeling about your day. Step 4, clarity. So if you're a visual person, this might be helpful for you. This is just kind of like a visualization that you can kind of do that might be useful. So kind of picture a circle of light, that being just God's love and his truth and his presence, and bring a situation or a person into that circle with God, and just let that be a safe space where you just ask God for clarity about that situation, or you ask him to speak into that issue with that person. And maybe it's not an issue, maybe it's somebody who you want to pray for their healing, or you just need clarity about how to maneuver or manage whatever is going on in a certain situation or with a certain person, whatever it may be. Ask him for his mind and his perspective. If he reveals something about your intentions that are impure, repent of it right then. If he reveals something to you that you need to forgive, then forgive that person, release that person right then in his presence and full awareness of how he's forgiven you. This is your chance to get total clarity about your day. His ways are not our ways, his ways are higher than our ways. So ask him to speak into it, ask the Holy Spirit to counsel you in that safe space with the Lord. Finally, step 5 is freedom. Relish in the freedom that Christ has afforded you. This is the freedom that you experience after you practice the daily examen, that you get to walk into your next day. You don't need to go to bed in shame and guilt about what you didn't accomplish, or about how you lost patience with that child or with your husband. Because of the sacrifice of Jesus, your mistake was covered at the cross. And you can start off tomorrow with a fresh start and the power of the Holy Spirit overflowing from you. Nothing needs to hold you back. He's overcome everything already. You can rest and wake up to walk in freedom in a new day. So how does that sound? I think this is such a good practice specifically for moms. This is the prayer of examen, the daily examen, or what I'm also calling mindfulness prayer, because it's you're becoming mindful of, of God's presence in your day, of the truth. Not just when we get stuck in our heads, convincing ourselves that we're worse than we really are, that we're not doing as well as we should be doing. Of all the moms in the world, God gave these souls, your children, to you. And he did that for a reason, and he did that with wisdom. So yeah, you just be mindful of that truth, of his truth at the end of your day, and it prepares you for the next day. So what do you think? I love this. I just love this so much. Now you know how to give your mom guilt to God and be more aware, more mindful of his presence throughout your day. Does this mean that we'll never experience mom guilt again or forget how near he is throughout the day? Of course not. But that's why this is referred to as the daily examen. We do this every day, mamas. And this isn't a you have to. This is you want to. You want to go through this with God. It's such a privilege. It's so refreshing to our mommy hearts. And thank Jesus. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. A resource that I actually have that I didn't realize would be perfect for practicing the daily examen is the 1 line a day journals. I have them right here on my bedside table, and I use them as a 5-year memory journal for my kids. That was actually recommended to me by my cousin. I have one for each of my kids. This is Science, Zeals, and Zoe's. And I write 1 line a day, just a little memory about them from the day. Well, I was thinking that'd be perfect as a way to journal the examen. And so, they're called 1 line a day journals. And I will link that below for you to check out if you want to. Also, I've created a free PDF, a prayer guide for moms, linked below, with all 5 steps to practicing mindful prayer or the daily examen as a mom to help you experience God more throughout your busy day. Lastly, if you'd like to join a community of women just like you, I have a group where I'll be sharing devotions and encouragement. It's a private space where soul sisters can build each other up and provide support for other mamas. Oh, also, if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn more about how to pray as a mom, specifically how to pray for others as a mom, check out my last video, and I will link that somehow. I don't remember how to do that, maybe around here somewhere. But anyway, yes, if you enjoyed this and you would like to learn more about how to pray for others as a mom, check that out. And if you like this video, please let me know by liking it below. Subscribe and share it with other beautiful moms. And comment below with day by day if you found anything in this video helpful. Don't act like you don't know that song. You want me to sing it? I know you want me to sing it. You know, I really wanted to be a pop star when I was a kid. And then I recorded myself singing Christina Aguilera and never sang ever again. Okay, well, that's not true. But I sing as quietly as possible in hopes that only Jesus can hear my voice, because I'm pretty sure that only Jesus likes my voice. To see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day, day by day.